Tonight I'm very excited because this is actually one of my favorite things to talk about. I'm going to give you guys a little backstory because that's how I like to start church. I want y'all to know that when I first joined, I had no intentions of recruiting anybody. I didn't talk about the join opportunity. I did not bring it up during conversation. And in fact, I had people actually mention to me that they might want to join. And I couldn't think of one reason why they would want to do that. So I have been in the place of not trusting my own value as a leader. So I want you guys to know that it's a very common feeling. So we're going to start there. One of the most important things that you're going to learn, I hope, tonight is that sponsoring isn't just about money or titles or earning a free trip. And in fact, honestly, it's not really about any of those things at all. So I know we talk a lot about growth and promoting and obviously having goals to earn free trips and titles. That's really important because that's what you need in your life right now to help you reach the next level, right? What I hope you're going to take away from this conversation is that in order to reach those goals, you have to put others' needs first. So I want to kind of start at the very beginning and go through fear. I want to talk about, for those of you that were at Reunion, FOWOT. FOWOT is a lovely little acronym that stands for fear of what other people think, or just what others think. Because if you put a P in there, it's FOWOPT. So fear of what others think, FOWOT. I'd love to see by show of hands or hearts or some way that you guys can let me know, how many of you are afraid of what people will think if you reach out to them about Scentsy? I, for one, had a really, it was a pretty terrible experience, I will say. It caused me a lot of stress. When I first joined, as I said, I wasn't really interested in recruiting. I didn't really talk about joining or that opportunity. But I don't know, 6 months in, 5-6 months in, I did a Facebook party for a friend of a friend, and her mom ended up joining during the party. And it just kind of inspired me in a way that I wasn't expecting. I was having fun during the Facebook party, so this is somebody that I had never met before, and she decided that she would join under me based on her experience with me during the party. She's still on the team. She's a star consultant. I love her to death. The reason I bring that up is because when she joined, it really, as I said, kind of lit a fire under me, and I realized that I could sponsor and I could, use my business more as a way to connect to people. So I had the motivation to really start working my business. I decided I would do a fundraiser. And this was months later, as we got closer to the holiday season. I decided I would do a fundraiser for a local women's shelter. And for the first time ever in my life, I went live on my Facebook page and I talked about being homeless as a young mother. I'm gonna try not to cry. It was really hard to be that vulnerable and to share that publicly. I kept a lot of details about my relationship with my daughter's father private. I didn't share a lot of details, but I did say, some of my story in my early 20s is that my daughter's father and I split up because it was a terrible, very verbally abusive and emotionally abusive relationship. And we had lived together, and we split up because I found out that he was cheating on me. And I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have anybody to help me. I didn't have any family. I did have a friend that helped me, but that was a really, really hard time in my life. And so the women's shelter there in Austin just felt like a good fit for me to do a fundraiser for. So I started messaging all of my friends, and I was so excited, and I wanted to share. I was doing a buddy drive. I wanted to share that with everyone. And I reached out to somebody that I had known in high school and that I was best friends with all through high school until college. And I hadn't talked to her in a while, maybe, a year. But I reached out to her, and I was super excited. And I was like, hey, girl, I'm doing this buddy drive fundraiser. I'm so excited. I'm donating, the buddies to the women's shelter. And she actually responded to me and said, don't ever contact me about this again. I can't believe that you're using a women's shelter as a way to get people to buy your product. And I was just horrified. First, that somebody that I grew up with would think that I would ever have an intention of using anybody or anything to my benefit, financial or otherwise. And so I honestly responded to her and said, I didn't think that it came off that way. And I'm truly at a loss for words. I don't what would you do, or if you were in my position, should I donate some of my, commission? And she really responded in a way that I didn't expect, in that I think she was confused by my response. I'm not really sure. It really ended up being kind of almost a miscommunication. But what it taught me was that I have to be mindful of how I approach things. At the same time, I can't let what other people think stop me. Because if I had thought for a moment that people would second guess my intentions, I certainly wouldn't have had the enthusiasm that I did, and I wouldn't have been brave enough to share what I was doing publicly. And I know for a fact that sharing my story publicly and doing that fundraiser helped me grow and evolve. It helped me learn that I was capable of being vulnerable. So the reason I share that story is because I know there's probably something holding you back right now. I don't know what it is. I'm going to guess it's something that happened to you a long time ago, because that's usually what causes all of our struggle, right, in life. It's not necessarily something now that's happening, but it's a way we feel about ourselves, right? So fear is the actual thing that's stopping us from jumping over the brim, going over that bridge, walking through that door, reaching out to that person that we haven't talked to in a while, but who we're thinking about because they mean something to us. Having that spontaneous feeling of wanting to offer something to somebody is something that you have to learn to listen to without fear. And it's really hard. It's not easy. I experienced that moment with my friend, who I'll still call a friend, because her response wasn't about me. It was about her perception of something that wasn't real. In her mind, I was one of those people who was trying to spam or take advantage. And while it hurt me that she would think that of me, it gave me an opportunity to clarify why she thought that, and kind of speak my case a little bit and remind her that I wasn't that person. So when we're talking about fear of what other people think, I want you to think about, what's the worst thing that could happen? if you do the thing that you're afraid of. If anybody wants to yell out something that they worry about, like, do you worry about them saying no? Do you worry about them saying, don't contact me again? Like, how would you respond to that? How would that make you feel? Do you worry about disappointing people because you set a goal and you haven't met it? Tell me, like, let me know. What are some of your fears? My fear is more about disappointing myself. My fear is about not doing it the right way, stumbling over my words, saying something that might offend somebody. That's my worst fear. And I literally did it unintentionally, and it crushed my soul. But if I had let that moment stop me, I would not have been able to donate 65 buddies to the women's shelter. I would not have been able to share my story live and reach people who had had similar experiences, who then felt more connected to me. I would have missed that opportunity. So rejection, Linda says. Rejection, like, what does that really mean to you? Does that mean somebody's not going to like you anymore? Somebody's not going to want to be your friend anymore? Does it mean you feel like you're not good enough? Does it feel like you're unworthy? Like, rejection can mean a lot of things. So I want to encourage you guys right now to write down 3 things that you're afraid of. Okay? Crystal says, as an Enneagram 9, at what Enneagram, shout out, she runs from confrontation. So she can't stand for somebody to be mad at her. I am an Enneagram 8 with a very strong 9 wing, so I too relate with that. Having other people have unresolved feelings towards me is very hard. Vaughn says, disappointing people and myself, failing at tasks and not meeting set goals. Linda says, fear of the product. Crystal says, failure. So guys, here's why I want you to write these things down, because we're going to go through a little bit of a few little exercises here that might help you. Okay. So I really want you guys to be thinking about the kind of people that you're attracting into your life right now. This is a tough one because a lot of times the type of people you're attracting into your life are a direct reflection of your thoughts about yourself, about the world, about things that are happening to you and around you. So I love that you guys are sharing your fears, and I definitely will go back and talk more. We'll talk more about these. So thank you for being vulnerable and sharing. This is the second part of the exercise, okay? I really want you guys to reflect on who's in your top 5 of your influential people in your life. Whether that be friends, family, co-workers. This is really important. And it's even more important than what a lot of us realize, because it affects how we view ourselves, and it affects what we do with ourselves, how we operate in the world, right? So I want you to think about, and this might be hard because maybe the people in your immediate circle aren't really very big supporters of what you're doing. The thing is, you don't have control over that, but you do have control over how you respond and react to that. So what I really want to focus on tonight going forward is, what's your story? A lot of us, myself included, have had traumas in their lives that they've had to overcome, really challenging, hard times in their lives that they've had to overcome. The thing is, if you're here right now, it's because you've overcome those things, and because you're still overcoming those things, and because you want to become the person you know you're meant to be. So there's a reason that you're here. There's a reason that you're watching this. And I think if you really look inward and check in with yourself and how you're feeling about being vulnerable, about growing as a leader, about sponsoring, about selling, I think if you look inward and you really check in with yourself and you think about what's stopping you, you'll realize a lot of what's holding you back is how you're reacting to things and how you're responding to things. So in this moment, it's really important that you take the opportunity to think back over all of the things that you've overcome in your life, all of the challenges that you've faced, all of the things that brought you to this very moment. Because if you hadn't had those challenges and you hadn't had to overcome those things, like how different would your life be? Would you be where you are today? And if you're thinking that you need to change something about where you are right now to get where you want to go, then join the club. Because all of us are human and none of us are perfect. And if you're letting yourself be stopped from the thing that you want to do in this world, whether that's be a Scentsy boss and work from home and run your business and not have to go clock in somewhere, or that's earning a free trip because you never get to go on free trips, or that's becoming the leader that you know you were meant to be because you have a story that people can connect to. No matter what the vision is that you have for yourself, you can attain it. You can reach it. But you have to be willing to acknowledge how powerful your story is. The thing that brought you here to this moment is the thing that made you who you are, is the thing that's going to change your life. But you have to be willing to talk about it. Talk about your fears. Talk about your passion. Talk about your dreams. Now, we talked about this last week, and I went live on my Facebook page and told people I was a sexual abuse victim and survivor. And I talked about PTSD. I have talked about anxiety and needing to use CBD and therapy. I've talked about some really tough things, but the most amazing thing has happened because of that. I've healed. So sharing your story is a really important part of overcoming. Just like you've overcome so many things to get you here, you have to keep doing the work to overcome the fear that's stopping you from reaching the next level of your life, whatever that is. So when we talk about recruiting or sponsoring, it really is much deeper than that, as we have uncovered. There's a lot more that goes into this process than just sponsoring people and growing a team. Success really doesn't come from what you want for yourself. It really comes from the ability to impact others and connect with others. And that's what Scentsy really fully embodies. If you've been to Reunion, it is the most powerful experience in ways that sometimes you don't have words for, because it's about the spirit of gratitude and sharing and caring and doing for others selflessly. That is something certainly that we could all aspire to be more like, you know? So I want you to, reel it in a little bit here and think a little bit about who's in your inner circle, who are the people that are influencing you. If the people around you that are influencing you don't believe in you, why do you think that is? If anybody has any ideas on why they think the people in their lives maybe don't believe in them, feel free to share. Write it down on your piece of paper. What is it that they see in you that makes them think that you're not capable? Maybe you don't believe that you are capable. Maybe you don't believe that you're worthy. Maybe you don't know how incredible you are and how much power you have. Maybe you forgot. Maybe nobody ever told you. I'll tell you. Reach out to the people that you know believe in you. And if you don't have anybody in your immediate circle, you have a whole family of people right here that are struggling with many of the same things that you're struggling with, who want nothing more than to have somebody that they can connect to. So Vaughn says they may have never had somebody to believe in them, so they don't know how to believe in others. That's true. The thing is, what other people think about you does not pay your bills. And you know what they say about opinions. If you don't, then I'm not going to say it, but I'm pretty sure you can think of that whole little saying about everybody has one. Everybody has a right to feel the way they feel. You have a right to be successful. You have a right to be happy. You have a right to create the environment that you want to be there every day. You choose. Nobody else can choose that for you. Nobody else. So when we're talking about your story, it's really important for you to contemplate those people in your circle, how what you're putting out to the world may be affecting who's coming into your circle. So if you're constantly sharing negativity, if you're constantly frustrated and mad and feeling like things are unfair and not dealing with your stress, then you're going to attract people just like that into your circle. And it's not fun. It's not fun to be in that place, and it's not fun to have people around you that are in that place. It takes a lot of energy to be positive and to be grateful. But let me just tell you that the outcome of putting your energy into gratitude is going to change your life. So I'm going to share a couple of books that I would love for you guys to pick up. One in particular, and I'm going to keep going here because I could get stuck on this for a while. So we talked about your story. We talked about being vulnerable. How do you relate to people? Are you finding ways to laugh at yourself? Are you sharing the fact that you're human? Like, everybody knows you're human. Everybody knows that you make mistakes. The more vulnerable and approachable that you are, the more you're going to attract people to you who also want that, who also want to be more than just on the surface. What are you wearing? Where did you get your hair done? Oh, your nails are cute. What kind of car do you drive? How much money do you make? You don't want those people in your circle. Trust me, you don't. You want those people that are okay with being vulnerable, who want to hear your story, who invest in you because they believe that you have something valuable to share. And I know every single one of y'all does. I do. I know that. It's just a matter of you believing it. So you're in the right place if you're struggling with that, okay? Here's where I want to bring it back to talking about people about Scentsy, okay? When I started, I talked about how important it is to recognize that this isn't about you. And if you're offering the joint opportunity to somebody, it's not about what it can do for you. And it can't be about that. Because when it's about that, you're going to attract the wrong people into your business. You're going to attract people who don't have the right mindset and who are going to hold you back. And it's directly related to your own thoughts. Okay? So if we can change our mindset and shift it towards, how can I serve you? What do I have that I can offer to you? How can this help you? Instead of, what do you have that can benefit me? Getting you to join my team is going to help me get a promotion. We have to shift our mindset on this, guys. It's probably one of the most vital pieces of sponsoring. So here's the key to that. We need to know why other people need Scentsy. Do they need connection? Are they a stay-at-home mom and they're just super lonely? Like, that's why I joined. I knew I couldn't go back to work. I knew there was something special about Scentsy, and I really wanted something for myself, and it turned into something really amazing. Do they not have any family or friends close by? Do they work a job they hate and they really want a connection to something that gives them joy? What can Scentsy do for them? Do they need money? Because selling Scentsy obviously is going to help them make money. We know that. If you share Scentsy, you do parties, you follow up, you're going to make a paycheck. We all know that. That's how it works, right? You make real money when you sell Scentsy. Are they obsessed with the product and they just would love a discount? That's a reason to join. Do they love to travel? Like, I have friends that's their love language. I don't understand it because traveling is hard. But, for some people, it's worth every hardship just to be able to leave the town that they live in, just to be able to get away from the same thing that they do every day. So when we think about how we can serve others, the things that we have to offer become very valuable. You can serve them by giving them your attention, asking questions and actually listening with your whole body, turning towards them, giving them direct eye contact, doing voicemail or even phone calls or video chats. All of those things are incredibly valuable. Your time is incredibly valuable. So offering somebody your time and your authentic self, no matter where you're at, if you can find a way to connect with people through humor, even if you're in a terrible place, if you can find a way to connect with them as a human being, then you're going to make a connection that's going to last beyond Scentsy. I promise you. So Scentsy isn't just about selling wax and warmers and laundry products and all the cool stuff that we have. It's not. If you're going to sponsor, you need to know why it's valuable and how it can help people. So that's really, really important, okay? I really want you guys to consider how you're sharing information. I see a lot of consultants sharing flyers and sharing kind of generic messages. And I just want to tell you straight up, if nobody else has told you, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. And if you don't believe me, then go back and look at your posts that are kind of generic. Maybe they're copy and paste, or maybe they just don't have any of you in them, and tell me what kind of engagement you got. Like, did anybody respond? Are you getting a response by posting the Join Special on social media? If so, why? What is it that you're doing that's working? I really need you to take some intentional time on this one, because it's probably one of the most important pieces of sharing on social media. We have to be able to connect with people from our life, how we use Scentsy in our life. So a lot of you already know this. You've been consultants for a while. You're already doing it. You're talking about Scentsy and how you use it on your kids' football uniforms, or you're talking about Scentsy because you have pets and they smell bad, or you're talking about the paycheck that you're using to get school clothes for your kids. You have to connect it to your life so that it's meaningful to people enough that they'll invest in it. They want to invest in you because you have something that they're drawn to. You have a story that resonates with them, whether it's the type of work you do, if you are a volunteer in some way, if you are a mom or a dog mom, or if you're a foster mom, if you're an adoptive parent, or what are your hobbies? Like, you have things that people will connect to, but you have to be willing to put that out there and incorporate Scentsy into it. And if you're not sure how to do that, ask. Ask your sponsor, ask your director, ask your superstar director. If you need help in coaching with that part of it, it's completely trainable. That is a learnable skill that you can learn, but you have to take the time to ask for help, because we're your mentors. We're not your boss. So if you want to learn something, you have to take the time to learn it. Okay. The other thing, and the last thing I want to just go over, this is going to be a little more like functional information about recruiting, is, are you getting yourself out there? Are you doing parties? There's really very little chance of you recruiting without talking to people. Like, every now and again, you might have a random person join your team through your website, and that's awesome. But honestly, the best way to grow your team is to talk to people. Get to know them. Find out their favorite things. Find out why they love Scentsy over the grocery store brand. Why are they willing to spend the extra money? Find out why they chose you. And then build that relationship with them. You have to be able to step outside of your comfort zone of not doing parties or not recruiting. Whatever your comfort zone is right now, the little box that you're in, clearly you want to break out of that. So parties really helps. I can tell you I have sponsored 2-3 people a month for a year straight and had 2,000 PRV every month for a year straight, while raising 3 kids and being a volunteer for a dog rescue and taking care of 4 or 5 dogs at a time and having a very busy life. And the reason I was able to recruit and do the PRV that high is because I was doing parties. I was recruiting through Facebook parties. So there's all different types of way to reach people. It doesn't have to be home parties. It doesn't have to be one-on-one. It can be over Facebook, which is an incredible and amazing gift. But you have to be intentional about it. And you have to learn the skills that you need in order to share what you want to say skillfully. If you're nervous about talking to people through live messages or through live videos, practice. Write down what you want to say. Repeat it over and over and over again to yourself in front of the mirror. Record yourself making a video of what you want to say. Do voice memos, whatever you got to do. Practice. Because fear is a lie. Fear is just a lie that keeps us complacent and keeps us where we are. It keeps us stuck. And honestly, if you know that it's a lie, then you can kind of break those chains and start doing the things that you need to do to change your life and get to wherever it is that you're trying to go. So today, I want to encourage you to look up this book. It literally changed my entire outlook on my business. It's called The Go-Giver. I went from having a mindset of I need to recruit so I can earn a trip. I need to recruit so I can promote. I need to recruit so I can hit director, which was my mindset. It changed that to how can I serve you? What can I do for you? How can I put your needs first? How can I live a life of gratitude? And how can I be open to receive all of the things I'm meant to have in this world, including happiness, which is probably high up on the list for a lot of us, right? So The Go-Giver, it's by Bob Burg, B-U-R-G, and John Mann, M-A-N-N. I would recommend the Audible version if you like to listen to audiobooks. It's a great story. It's not a very long read if you're not a reader. Like, I have books all over my house. I have the books back there, and I've gotten through 37 pages. So if you know that you have a hard time picking up books, try an Audible book, or a whatever other type of listening apps there are for books. I know there are others. Or if you like to read on your iPad or whatever, but read it. The challenge for you guys for this week is going to be related to like recruiting packets and things like that. It's going to be a more kind of functional challenge. But I want to personally challenge all of you to download the book, If you don't have the money to buy it right now, put it on your wish list. And when you have $10 from your paycheck from working your business this month, buy it. I promise you, you will find things that help your business. And it's not a very long book. I just want to say one last thing, and it's from that book, which it's funny, I have my notebook. This notebook goes all the way back to when I first started working my business. So it goes all the way back to 2016. I love it. I have lots of great notes in here. But one thing that I did was the training on the Go-Giver. So of course I bookmarked the wrong thing, and maybe I won't find it. But, here we go. So the Go-Giver has tenets. There's 5 of them. The first one is the law of value. So I'm going to read through these real quick. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than take in payment. It's kind of hard to wrap your mind around, right? Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than take in payment. Like, I want to get paid. I want money. What is this even talking about? Go read the book so you understand. The key notes here are, does it serve? Does it add value to others? Can you exceed people's expectations because you love it? Because it makes you feel amazing to give more than you take. So, the second one is, your income is directly related to how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So this is where we talk about how big your network is, okay? You're obviously going to make more money if you have the opportunity to serve more people. So if you're not doing parties, you're not having that opportunity to grow your network and reach more people and serve them well. You're keeping your circle small. Your paycheck is also going to be small, okay? The law of influence. So your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. People do business with and refer business to people they know, like, and trust. So, do your customers know, like, and trust you? This is the law of influence. How can I add value to this person? How can I help this person in their life? Not because you're going to get something back, but because you want to go after what they want. You want to get them that free warmer that they've been eyeing all season that they can't afford. You want to get that for them. So let's do a party because your friends are going to order. They want that too. And you're going to get some free rewards. What's the benefit of that? I get a paycheck. I reach new people. But that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because my customer is obsessed with this warmer and I want her to have it for free. It's the law of influence. When she knows that I'm not trying to get something from her, she's going to trust me and she's going to refer people to me. All right, the law of authenticity. Probably my favorite law. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. I want you to ruminate on that because it doesn't seem true. We tell ourselves every day, 50,000 times a day, we're not good enough. Oh, I messed that up. I didn't do that right. I'm so stupid. I'm an idiot. How could I mess it up like that? I should have known better. Of course that person doesn't like me. Of course they don't like me because I'm worthless. I'm terrible. Like the words that we use on ourselves, do we use those words on other people? Like we're so mean to ourselves, guys. We really are. We're so hard on ourselves. But the most valuable thing in this world that you have to offer is yourself. So we have to work on believing that. All of the training and techniques that you learn, they don't work if you aren't yourself. If you're sharing somebody else's words, it doesn't work. It has to be from your heart. It has to be from you. Okay? What you have to offer is unique, but you have to know that and you have to find your voice in all of this. That's what we're here to help you do, okay? The last one made me cry a lot. Because when you don't think you're worthy, it's really hard to receive. And it's going to make me cry right now. You deserve to have success. You deserve to have love. You deserve to have people in your life that believe in you. You deserve to reach your goals. You deserve to make money. You deserve to be in the situation that helps you become the person you were meant to be. And if you're in that place of life right now that feels impossible, where you just can't see over the mountain to know that there's another side, just know that you're not alone. And as long as you keep reaching out, as long as you keep that line connection to the people that love you and care about you, you'll make it. I promise you, you will. But you have to know in your heart that you're worthy of that. You have to know that you can receive everything in this world that you're meant to have if you believe in yourself. And God is hard. We are our worst critics. So if you're in a place where you're having a really hard time believing in yourself and you're feeling really down and anxious and overwhelmed, I want you to reach out to someone. I want you to reach out to your sponsor. I want you to reach out to a family member. I want you to reach out to a friend that you trust. Heck, reach out to me. Send me a message and say, Erin, I'm really in a bad place right now. These are the things that are happening right now. And we can talk about it. I won't judge you. I certainly won't tell you what to do with your life, but I'll listen. And if you have a friend in your life that you trust, that you know will listen without judgment and help you see the good things about yourself, that's what you need right now. Those are the people that you want to keep in your top 5. Those are the people that are going to help you put your boots on and get up and just keep moving forward like the soldier that you are. Okay? So while the law of receptivity is incredibly important, it's probably the one that most of us struggle with the most. And I just want you to know that that's totally normal, that fear is totally normal, and we all experience that, but that you do have a choice. You do have a choice in how you respond to things. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. So I hope that you guys found this helpful tonight. We will have more information on the actual art of sponsoring. Maggie will be sharing a training with you guys tomorrow on how she attracts people to her team, how she lives a Scentsy life, and how she is able to kind of naturally recruit. It's kind of a gift, but it's through a lot of effort and hard work. So I know she's going to have some great tips for you guys. I'll share an FAQ that I use, that I include in my packets anytime I mail out something to a customer, especially if they're a frequent flyer, they're buying a lot. It's just an FAQ. I don't know who originally created it. I've tweaked it for my business. It's been shared in many different places, but I'll update it so that it's current, so that you guys can see and edit it and use it for yourself. It's just a Google Doc that I print out or I can email. So I'll share that tomorrow. I think that was it. Look at my notes real quick. If you have any questions, now's a great time to ask. It takes about 10 or 15 seconds for things to show up. But if you have any questions or you want to ask anything, now's a great time. I'll say the name of the book one more time. It's called The Go-Giver. I want to personally challenge all of you to read it before the end of our 70 days. And I'll make a post so that everybody that's reading it can share where they're at, their aha moments. I think it's really important that we invest in our personal growth through through this process. And I think this is a book that really speaks to a lot of people. So that's why I want to challenge you to read it. And then we will have another challenge this week. So I did the post yesterday to share screenshots of your join conversations. We'll have one more challenge for you guys just to kind of help you get your recruiting game on point. And that should be posted the next day or two, so it's something you can work on over the weekend. And then we'll have a drawing for a prize. All right? So I love you guys. I'm signing off. Thanks so much for joining. I feel like I talked for a really long time, so I'm sorry if I was a little winded. But I do hope that you guys are able to take away some valuable pointers or, sage advice, whatever you want to call it. I love y'all. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see y'all on the next video. Bye.